Hello everyone, this is Mr. Lairman, and today I will be casting a replay sent in by Exodiss. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on in this game, I'm kind of going in blind here, but from what I can tell, this is a pretty solid game, fairly standard sent in by Exodiss, and he's playing Arthedain in this, so without further ado, let's get into this replay and see what goes on in this game. This is just going to be a single replay. This seems to be a pub game, I believe. And yeah. So Exodiss on Arthedain, El Poofy on Cardolan, G Unifier on Elves, and Cookie on Western Gondor. These are the players we are rolling with on good. Now Toby is playing evil. He is on Angmar, and remember that yes is Toby's in-game name. So it looks like Toby is just solo pushing Lothlorien, but the Unifier is in the area to contest him, so this is going to be a little bit of a risky plus. Meanwhile, Yuandil is pushing Elven King's Halls in the north as Misty Mountains. G Unifier does go in on Toby and scares him off. Meanwhile, Exodiss is just stripping these three cannons here. It's typically a pretty easy set of cannons to strip as Arthedain if Angmar is away, so just a bit of free money. Crayfor's northern arb is a little bit exposed, so if Exodiss can clear out this last cannon, he might be able to dive it later. It looks like Crayfor has not actually noticed it. And of course, Crayfor, if you hadn't noticed already, is playing Evil Men. So he is now in the north of Fornos, stripping out the Rangers of the North for some free XP and some free money. Gotta be careful with Morgamir, they're only 500 HP. And it looks like Crayfor is using a battle arb, a bit misguided, I guess you could say. Now, the arb that was exposed up here was moved back into the back of Trollshaw, so it looks like Exodus is not going to be able to dive that arb anytime soon at this point. And I'm going to quickly move my microphone a little bit closer to me. And watching the south, we have Cookie stripping out the Wainwright encampment cannons. I'm not really sure what he was doing prior to this. Meanwhile, Crayfor is attacking Left Nui, and Toby is actually going for Amon Laha. Is this an East game? It doesn't seem like it. No gases are on the spawns at the very least. Exodus has rotated over to Dol Guldur to clear. It looks like G Unifier is not actually using his heroes to clear with Exodus. Instead, he is just sending his mass to cover for Exodus. This is a pretty high-level strategy, sending mass to allies so that they can utilize it more effectively. Now, it looks like Crayfor is also at Amon Laha, so this is actually a pretty heavy investment into the east, but there are no gases in the east, so this is not an east build, it seems, just a bunch of east attacks, which is a bit odd. Now, Crayfor was chased away from Left Nui because he's actually up here at Amon Laha, and Toby has been forced to recall, so with pretty low heroes, I don't think Crayfor can continue this push despite Cookie also being kind of low. That looks like a accidental usage of Acrimony. Bit of a slowdown for Cookie's future pushing. Unfortunate for him, but probably acceptable overall. Looks like Cookie's actually continuing to Orphan Gas. This is a somewhat off-meta pick, but it's getting a lot of popularity in recent days. Just kind of gassing Orphan Control's max. The elite is pretty nice, but the spawn is also a lot more vulnerable than Eric or Lamadon, so I'm still not convinced that it is a good choice. Toby is now back at Western Rudar. It's a pretty late time to be attacking Western Rudar, but Toby has been attacking other spawns so far, of course. Let's see, a lot of Toby's mass cover was kind of just stripped away by Exodus for free, so this push is going to be significantly harder for him. Morgamir is getting a little bit low, and remember that Barrier Arrows, the combo is up and running, so Exodus can go for a hero kill if Toby is not careful. Crayfor attacking Cardolan in the south, not getting a ton of progress. His heroes are a little bit too low to do much right now. And it looks like a little bit of a lull in the fighting. So far, a lot of Evil's attacks have been deflected. Not even Amon Laha has gone down yet. Elven King's Halls has been stripped but not killed yet. So overall, there are no actual good spawns dead yet at the 6-minute mark. Which, although not super late, typically there will be a spawn or two dead already for good. Even if it's just a feed spawn like Elven King's Halls or Eastern Starbad or Amon Laha. Toby is back at aim on the HOD. It looks like he is intent on getting this kill. He's diving through all of these cannons, using Confuse on these cannons so that his dive is not punished. And it looks like he just recalls out a little bit too early with Witch King to actually get that kill on the Lord of Pen of Galen. But Crayfor was in the area to pick up the gank. Now, Toby did have to recall there because Morgamir was getting very low. So he probably did not want to make it into a trade for Morgamir for Lord of Pen of Galen. Overall, I would say that slightly benefits good overall. Crayfor's Hero Ball extremely low. He needs to take quite a while to heal up here, but since he's been kind of going into battle with low heroes, making it really hard for him to push. Toby is back at Dol Guldur. He does have 5,450 minerals, so he's somewhat close to Nazgul, but it's not quite enough to buy it yet, but he should be able to defend it for the 2 minutes 20 seconds required to grab Nazgul. And if we quickly check this, yeah, so this is played on the post-competitive patch integration 4.10. So this is the most up-to-date version of the game as of the time of recording, which is the 2nd of February. Or it's today the 3rd. Oh, today's actually the 3rd, never mind. Toby is back up at the North Downs, stripped out a couple of the cannons here, but it looks like he is being chased away by Exodiss. Just a little bit scared of engaging him. Morgamir, again, is super low. He has been sending Morgamir into battle while damaged. Yuandel was getting a little bit of progress done on the Western Rudauer cannons while Exodiss was away defending against Toby, but not a ton of progress was made on these cannons. Meanwhile, Crayfor is back at Left Nui. With Cookie down a hero, he's going to have a bit of a rougher time defending against this. A bit of focus on Hwalder. Crayfor has to pull him back, be a little bit careful here. And now Cookie is in the area. Despite being down lower Pen of Galen, he can still be a bit of a pain in Crayfor's backside, but he is probably not going to be able to defend Left Nui for this push. Although he is actually chasing away Crayfor. He actually forces the recall. I think Crayfor, with such buffed mass, I don't actually think Crayfor could have actually taken that fight. But in the meantime, yes, finally takes down Amon Laha. Cookie was distracted by Crayfor and the spawn goes down. But that was a lot of Evil's valuable early game time kind of invested in that spawn. Adinbeth almost being caught out in the open. Toby kind of recalling her a little bit late. They're technically a Sahid. And now Dol Guldur is going to go down unless Toby manages to chase away both these hero balls. But it's a 2v1 with a low Morgamir, so if they wanted to, they could probably take Toby, but Exodus recalls out, not taking that risk. It's really unnecessary. Toby is still defending Dol despite the Nazgul already coming out. I'm not really sure why. Nazgul comes out for Yuandel. It is Uvafa, the Black Horseman, which is pretty strong against the Elven Hero Ball. And now looks like a little bit of downtime. Lothlorien has been ninja'd, so it's going to be very difficult for Evil to actually take that spawn down. Meanwhile, we have Crayfor going in on Western Rudauer. Kondo Wing Rider's getting pretty low. Hwalder also pretty low. He has to be very careful here. A lot of these heroes are in arrowing, or close to arrowing range, especially with Argalab. Now, G-Unifier is here to defend Western Rudauer, but it looks like Crayfor is still committing a little bit. He has shown his catapult, so Good now knows, if the miners are paying attention, that Eastern Rudauer is being gassed. Hwalder does go down, it looks like. Yep, that shield was popped, but Galadriel is traded out for Hwalder, and with Nenya, I think that is a pretty good trade. The Wing Riders does get a little bit low, but that's not going to be enough, and now Lothlorien is vulnerable once again, but the HP increases still persist, so it's still going to be quite annoying. And I'm still pretty sure that Nenya turrets still cannot be confused by Morgamir, so Evil is going to have to break through these turrets manually. Dol Guldur is very low now, left to 700 HP. It looks like Toby, by recalling here, kind of delayed the kill, forcing Good to spend another push on the spawn. Toby has to be a little bit careful here. He's entering this fight against the max HP Arthedain Ball with a low Morgamir. Exodiss recalls back to defend Western Rudar from a Misty Mountains rotation, but the cannons have all been stripped, so it's only a matter of time before Western Rudar actually goes down. Exodiss can just hope to try and delay the death. Exodiss has the mass cover to actually just directly contest Toby here. A bit of a wasted orb there. Not much damage was done by that orb. And as an Angmar, your abilities are a huge part of your push. Poofy might be actually funding some other faction here. Now, he has been completely untouched this game, except for a tiny little bit of HP on this cannon, a few cannons by the Guelpho Crossing. So a consolidation would be very strong on him. He hasn't lost any heroes either, but it might actually be higher yield just to fund Exodus, because Exodus is just such a solid player. You can never go wrong funding Exodus. Or alternatively, Poofy can also fund Unifier, also a fine choice. Witch King almost goes down, but both sides using their lifeboats to preserve their heroes' HP. What we saw there was a Witch King dive with the rest of the Angmar heroes on Argleb, reducing him to about 390 HP, I would say. And Toby manages to save Witch King from that dive with lifeboat, and Exodus also saves Argleb with a lifeboat. Toby continuing to poke with his ranged hero ball, but with Exodus camping Western Rudar, he's probably not going to be able to actually finish off the spawn, just take out a handful of mass units. Nope, okay. Toby does not take that opening. It might have been a little bit of bait by Exodus. He just recalls out, plays it safe for next time. Yuandil misses the recall on Smog, almost loses him, but luckily he was paying attention, did not pan his camera away, and he does pick up Smog with his Arbiter. Waymar encampment has not gone down, by the way, not yet. Cookie seems to have been doing other stuff. I know that he was actually present for the Dogul door kill earlier, so maybe he was just spending his attention there instead. Poofy recalls in to defend the Guelpho Crossing right as Grave 4 recalls out, going for the Lothlorien spawn. But Lothlorien is double HP from Nenya. The attack may be disabled with Galadriel's death, but there's still a lot of strength in the spawn. Meanwhile, Toby was in the north attacking Cookie and Exodus, but loses Morgamir. It looks like Morgamir has taken so much just punishment this game, and his HP was just a little bit too low going into that fight. At the very least, for Evil, Western Rudar is going to finally go down. I think that's the third here spawn death of this game with Iman Laha and Lefnui. Oh no, Elven King also died earlier. Do you remember that replay observers can't actually see spawn death messages? So it's a little bit difficult to notice sometimes. Lothlorien is being attacked once again. Crayfor is being chased away by Cookie, though. His HP is a little bit too low to do much. Angmar loses their second special transport. Yeah, it seems like Toby actually recalled his ARP out of the east. So that's going to just be a Toby who's forced to 1v1 Exodus permanently. And with such a strong Exodus that's really fed, not even down North Downs, it's going to be very difficult to contest him. Toby is a little disgruntled that he is not in a 1v1, but he has been rotating a lot this game, so I'm not really sure if it's his place to complain. Now we're seeing a double on Eastern Rudar by Poofy and G Unit Fire. It looks like a lot of Evilman's gas is going to go down soon if Crayfor does not respond, but if he responds, that gives the rest of Good just free reign over the rest of his spawns. Coldfells does get bought by Yuandil. Pretty solid buy all around. Let's see. But he's also maxing Scaffa, so I don't know if he's going to actually divert some gas over to Coldfells to get this null troll. EM is just camping Eastern Rudar. That gives Good a opportunity to just fully clear out Dunland. Clearing out Dunland before the turtle comes in is a pretty nice quality of life play. Meanwhile, Exodus and Toby are just fighting up in the north. Basically, nothing is being done. Exodus doing a very good job of just sandbagging Toby, delaying his pushes, and preventing him from really doing anything. If we look at the Hills of Avendum, it looks like Exodiss, despite the relative advantage that he has, is not going for Fornos Gas. Instead, he's going to go for Hills of Avendum, get that earlier power spike. Although it would make dealing with Toby's mass a little bit harder in the later stages of the game. Eastern Rudar's outer cannons are being stripped by El Poofy, and it looks like Yuandil is actually wasting a little bit of time just taking out all the cannons by Mirkwood. The back cannons on Mirkwood are pretty undense, so it's a pretty mass efficient way to get income, but at the same time, you don't really want to be just getting income without doing anything else in this game. Dunlin does go down, and it looks like Crayford is actually down at Western Rudar, going for Pin of Galen. Cookie still has not gotten a third hero in the form of Courtier or something, although he is 100 minerals away. So this push is going to be very hard to contest for him. Crayford just poking down to spawn with Korhild, the Blind Sorcerer. And maybe Yuandil was clearing out these Mirkwood cannons to actually protect Scappa. And you're going in for a bit of a poke on Korhild, taking out a bit of HP but losing half of his own. Meanwhile, at Amon Sul, Yuandil has rotated over to take care of it, but G-Unifier is in the area to respond. Meanwhile, Exodiss and Toby in a perpetual headbutting match. Not much is really going on for either faction. Exodiss just has too much of an advantage, and Toby just cannot push. It looks like the lifeboat might be going down here. No, not quite, but very close. Meanwhile, Crayford is once again camping Eastern Rudar, and it looks like he's actually showing his Druive Yower mass, which he has been upgrading. He's now on 4 spawns, Enderwife, Druive Yower, and Eastern Rudar, and Wainwriter Encampment. And it looks like Wainwriter Encampment also got 1 gas in it, we can see by the Wainwriter and Chariot. Yuandil is now going for Kaza Doom, but G-Unifier does see him and is already here to respond. It's very difficult to push these cannons with a equally matched elves to respond to you and with no actual zoning from allies. Now, notably, not many heroes have actually died this game. I think only 2 total have died. Worgamir on Toby's ball and the Lord of Pin of Galen on Cookie's ball. Lothlorn did die earlier, by the way. And Crayford is coming in for a double on Exodiss. Maybe this is why he did not want to gas Fornos. He was maybe scared of a double or triple by Evil. Toby once again being repelled by Exodiss. His DPS is just too much, but the Witch King does go in for the dive. Dies to the extra mass DPS though. All of these snowmen of Forachel put out quite a lot of damage. Lifeboat with Kamul in it, escaping with barely any HP. Exodus gets a small consolidation prize in the form of a medic. So trading out Malvagil for Witch King. At this stage in the game, I would say it is a pretty decent trade, since you're not really struggling against the ranged heroes of Angmar. So you don't really need to worry about the Angmar pushing rate, and now your heroes are a lot safer against Angmar. Yuandil is going for a attack on Amon Sul again, but with G-Unifier and El Poofy in the area, he can't really make much progress, and indeed, he recalls out to go for Khazad-dûm once more, but he's going for a slow push, getting these cannons instead of the spawn itself, giving G-Unifier more time to respond and chase him away. And yeah, technically these two factions are more or less evenly matched, but really it might be that Yuandil doesn't have the confidence to directly engage G-Unifier, especially so close to G-Unifier's cannons at Khazad-dûm. And also, he has not actually gassed... Oh, no, he has gassed Coldfells. I'm not really sure where the snow trolls are. We should be seeing snow trolls any second now. 20 seconds left on the spawn timer. Crayford is going for an attack on Cardalin, but with so little HP on the Chieftain of Dunlin, he has to be very careful. Warcry is not off cooldown, so at the very least, he doesn't have the added risk of a sudden thrust by El Poofy to kill his heroes. Pray for is in the east in the area. What exactly is he here for? Not really sure, because he can't actually attack with a bunch of his heroes low. The Reviewer mass is being tapped into, but it also looks like Good has noticed it and is signaling to attack it. Eastern RotWK has gone down as well. Exodiss, without Malvagil, loses a little bit of his mass clearing ability. Malvagil's rapid attacks make him pretty good at taking out mass. Got to be very careful with Argaleb. Toby goes in for a kill on Argaleb, but Exodiss lifeboats Argaleb just in time to save his life and trades out nothing for Kamul. Very good. Karfang goes in for the charge on the healer, almost gets him, but Exodiss pulls Karfang out before he dies to cannons. Looks like Exodiss didn't want to take that risk of almost losing Karfang to cannons to get that medic. Meanwhile, Yuandel is actually here, so Exodiss is probably going to have to retreat. He can't really defend this with such low heroes. But Yuandel is going for a rather inefficient clear of Orcish raiding camp, which is already stripped, which gives Unifier an opportunity and opening to actually get in there. If Yuandel just started attacking LoTR earlier, it would have already died. Luckily, Toby is in the area to zone out, so it is fine. Fully upgraded LoTR does go down, but the Chief of the LoTR has actually gotten his levels already, so it's not the worst lost. And Scappa the Longworm, final upgrade is starting up, so Scappa is going to be fully upgraded very soon. We might be seeing a good rotate onto the spawn soon. Cookie is going to go for Rally now. And it looks like Exodiss is actually getting whispers by JMS Slayer. Fornos also very low. That was probably a attack from the bottom, a rotate earlier on in the game. Pray for in the east, now rotating over to Fornos. It looks like they're tripling Fornos. And yes, it was actually the right call to not upgrade Fornos earlier in the game. It looks like Exodiss maybe was not confident in his allies' abilities to actually defend the spawn, despite his advantage against Toby. And this is a huge commitment by Evil. Meanwhile, Cookie has finished off Wang Rider encampment in that time, so not a free push for Evil Men. El Poofy also in the area to take out Reviewer, but now Cookie isn't really attacking anything, so wasting a little bit of time, missed opportunity cost. And Fornos is just being completely stripped. It looks like Evil's going for the really slow but super safe clear on it, not going for any dives whatsoever, and attack opening up a new angle to kill Fornos from. And they finally get the kill. Fornos does go down, but luckily for Exodiss, he has foreseen this, does not actually upgrade Fornos, or I think he doesn't at least. Hills of Avindum is just getting his last upgrade, so I'm not really sure where... Oh, maybe he has actually upgraded Fornos a little bit. So in which case, that's a lot of just gas for him going to waste. Unfortunate. Golfing Bolt gets brought down to half HP in just one volley from Exodiss. Exodiss still has a lot of strength left in him. Meanwhile, Reviewer is about to go down to El Poofy. Once Poofy just kills this one singular cannon, he can start stripping the spawn or poking the spawn without any actual cannon fire coming back at him. Putting down some austere mines up north of his position just to warn him of any attacks by Evil Men. This is a pretty rough choke. You gotta be very careful not to be snuck up on by Evil Men and always pay attention to that. The Lord of Tharbad actually comes out for El Poofy. It looks like instead of Consolidate, he's going for the Tharbad build. Also very strong, although in this case, I would say Consolidate is a little bit stronger overall just because of him still having all of his spawns. And now El Poofy is attacking with Cookie to finish off Evilman's last spawn, Enedwife. Meanwhile, Misty Mountains is attacking Cause of Doom, but he's not going in from the top right. So this is a somewhat slow strip. G-Unifier does spot Crayfor's Arb. He knows that a double is going to come in soon, but Crayfor isn't doing anything. It looks like G-Unifier might be able to get a snipe on this Arb if Crayfor is not paying attention, but he is. He moves it away. So, but now this is just kind of Evil wasting a little bit of time to grab a Palando. But Misty Mountains is also supply cap because he bought Palando, and he's not going to get any more mass. He's going to probably miss a full spawn of mass from Scaffa, which is pretty unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, Crayfor is defending against this huge double by Cookie and Poofy, but they have a lot of strength. He definitely cannot contest both of them. The Western cannons are being stripped, the Eastern cannons are being stripped. Good coming in from both sides, trying to just kind of corner Crayfor. And if he keeps just in this area, he commits to the defense, he might actually get a hero snipe. But the Lord Tharbad actually goes down. He was a bit too squishy and low level to withstand the pressure of that volley. Golfing Bull does get killed in the north by Exodiss. So Toby just having a rough time. And, oh, okay, Crayfor just moves a medic accidentally into the Cookie Ball. Just down a medic for free. Not really a play he wants to be making, but regardless, he is putting up a good fight at Endwife. Getting the Lord of Tharbad there, making the push costly for good. But with this little opportunity given to him by Cookie, Poofy can go in for a little bit more DPS on the spawn. Moot Lord of Endwife almost dying, living at 40 HP. The Chieftain of Dunland also goes down, though, for that. And with, yeah, you never want to be caught between two factions as evil men. Just two pairs of hands against one pair of hands is just very hard to micro against. And now that Moot Lord is low, Poofy just goes in for the dive and gets him. The Con of the Wayne Riders might be going down as well. Core Hill goes down to Cookie from the back, and it looks like Cookie is not going to actually be able to get the Con of the Wayne Riders. It was a little bit too late for that, but that is Evil Men down 4 heroes from that engagement. Dun Chief, Moot Lord, and Core Hill. Actually, no, he's only down 3 heroes. Con of the Wayne Riders did not go down, but that was a rough engagement for Evil Men. Now, Yuandil, the strongest faction on Evil by far, is going for a Monsoul, but it doesn't actually have any gases. Exodus has been getting gases on Anuminos, and he's almost onto his Sanctuary upgrades, which are double the yield of a normal gas. So this Tower of Monsoul will be a victory for Evil, but not really significant enough to win them the game. And at this point, with Evil Men basically just completely dead with 1 hero left, it's not looking very good for Evil. They have very little strength left in them, and the miners can now start rotating north, and the miners are almost completely untouched. El Poofy, with the exception of Laura Tharbad, is at full strength, and Cookie has not lost any gas spawns. Yuandil is going in for a death fight. Now, Yuandil still has a ton of mass. He is very strong and is quite the threat for good, but with 3 factions in the area to respond, and Cookie going in for the flank on Karn Doom, or maybe even Gundabad or Angmar Plains, I don't really see a way for Evil to win this. Crayfor also going to be losing his not medic, special transport, recalls Con the Wayne Riders into Cookie and loses him, his last hero. Doesn't actually lose the special transport. Courier does get quite a lot of focus by Toby, but he just doesn't have the DPS to burst down Courier anymore. And with this final push down south, I think that's game. Yuandil just can't break through 2 factions, let alone 3. He does not have the strength to actually solo the rest of this game, and basically a 1v4. Toby and Crayfor might make up like 1/3 of a faction total, if that. At the very least, Toby does still have mass, but the writing's on the wall here. Evil is not doing so hot. Not any significant losses for good. Many of the losses good has had were trades, and Evil has lost a ton. Toby losing all of his stuff, just trying to solo push. Exodiss just did not work. All of the progress made on Arthedain were from doubles or triples. And with Uvafa down, I think that was Yuandil's Naz. I'm not really sure why Evil's still in this game, to be honest. Yes, is still attacking at Anuminas. And the volley comes in, and Force Field. Anuminas living with 100 HP left. That was very close to death there. Maybe if Karfang did a charge on Adunabeth, that would have gotten the kill. Thranduil grabs Treebeard as well. Gina Fire's Hero Ball is completely untouched, by the way. Although, actually, no, he did lose Gala earlier, but I believe to a trade. Osir dies to cannons. Gotta be a little bit careful with these cannons here. They're very dense. And Yuandel back at Lothlorien, just stripping out cannons. Like, Yuandel has lost a lot of time just pushing cannons without doing anything this game, since he has been the strongest faction on Evil for some time now, but just hasn't really done much with it. Like, as Misty Mountains, since you are kind of the carry faction on Evil, you want to be doing stuff at all times. Yuandel has kind of just been doing kind of not that impactful stuff, despite being, you know, untouched for so long. Being able to pull off a max Scaffa is not a common feat, but he's not really doing a ton with it. Cookie going for the Coldfell's attack. Yuandel is here to respond. Cookie might be going for Smog the Golden here. His air heroes, Yuandel's air heroes, are all quite exposed here. Accidentally pulls in Smog. Is he gonna get it? Yes! Cookie stutter steps into range of killing Smog. Very nice pickup by Cookie. Yuandel is trying to take out El Poofy's Hero Ball, and instead gets a bunch of focus on LoTR. LoTR is going to go down. Is Palando going to go down this push? Yes, it is. Gorkill is being attacked by Ernir, but only one hero is not enough to take him out. He has to pull back. Yuandel calls GG, goes in just for a dive, and that doesn't work. Toby also diving into Anuminas. Does not actually do anything with, you know, only mass, basically. Gorkill goes down to El Poofy as well. And Cookie might be losing Courier. Nope, not quite. But both of Cookie's heroes are quite low. Oh, if Rogash went on to Ernir with his leap there, that would have been a nice moral. But at the end, not enough for Evil. And Good clears this game. A very strong control by Good. Not much of Evil's plans were able to really succeed. The only big play by Evil that went kind of unpunished really was the Fornos kill, and even then, Evilman lost Yower and the Wayne Rider encampment for that. And what we kind of saw there was just an Angmar dying to Arth. Like, when Angmar loses the 1v1 to Arthedain, that's a pretty bad sign for Evil. But also just Misty Mountains not quite doing enough. Kind of, as Misty Mountains, your time is really, really valuable. You want to be doing high impact stuff and clearing cannons for money, like here and here. And I think he was down at left me once, maybe. It's just not an efficient use of your time. You need to be affecting the game state. The miners were completely untouched that game. Cookie did get a lot of heat, but none of his gas was actually cleared, so it didn't really matter. And yeah, so that was a replay sent in by Exodiss. Thank you, Exodiss, for sending me this replay. It was quite a nice game to watch, although not really the most competitive once I saw that Toby was Angmar. GG.